Good morning. So I know that I say often that people are not as alone as they think they are. And it comes up for me over and over and over again because so many times I will see people experiencing things that they feel very alone and central in. Like, for example, this is both clinically with clients, like spiritually with people who get readings, just personally, my own reflections, how I'm parenting my children, my conversations with my friends and my loved ones. Like, I hear stuff about people not really knowing themselves or feeling like they have lost themselves. They don't really know what they like. Or like when you ask somebody, well, what do you want? And they're like, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I want this person to stop doing this, or I want this thing to stop happening. But I don't really, it's hard for me to pinpoint, or not even what I want, but even what I need. Like if you ask somebody what they need in any moment in time, they get like, I don't need nothing, you know? Um, and like that comes up a lot. And like situations where people feel like they just kind of end up somewhere and they're making it work, or they're making things fit, or they're making things happen, as opposed to like working on something that they want, like an intention that they set for themselves, and being in a situation that matches that intention and that is um, aiding or supporting the intention that they set for what they needed or for what they wanted. You know, people just going along with what has been like set up for them or like prescribed for them, you know. I'm not, oh, a butterfly. Did y'all see the butterfly? I hope it got in the camera. I don't know if it got in the camera. It was behind me. Okay. Anyway, distracted. Squirrel brain. Butterfly. Anyway, what was that? Yes. Another thing that like happens, or that I hear people say often, is like not necessarily feeling alone in a group of people, but feeling unseen. You know, like where you may know yourself, you may know what you like, you may know what you want, and it's like the people around you just not, it ain't clicking, you know, for one reason or another, or feeling like they don't really know you. Like they think they know you, but they're so far off. Like their idea of you is so far off from who you actually are. And it gets weird, you know, because they may think they know what you want, or they may be giving you things, or they may be doing things, or inviting you to things, or trying to help you. And it's like none of that is really what I wanted. None of that is really what I needed, you know. Um, or feeling like the things that you do want and the things that you do need, like for some reason it's not with you, like it's not happening. You know, you may know exactly what you want, you may know exactly what you need and how to get there, and then for one reason or another it's just not happening, you know. And I feel like it all comes down to connection, you know, like how connected are you with yourself, you know, yourself on the surface level, like your personality, the self-awareness that people talk about a lot, but also like how connected are you to your internal world, like your emotions, not just your thoughts, but the way that you think, you know, your needs, your desires, your fears, your aspirations, you know, the things that light you up, the things that excite you. How connected to those things are you just on like a regular day-to-day basis, you know? And then how connected are you to the people around you? How much are they connected to and aware of all of that internal stuff, like your past, your history, your thoughts, the way that you think, your emotions, what you want, what you need, your aspirations, the things that scare you, the things that keep you up at night. How much do they know that about you, you know? And then how connected are you to the greater environment around you, you know? Like when you go outside, can you feel nourished by the birds chirping and the blue skies and the water and the trees, like the wind blowing? Do those things feel refreshing or rejuvenating, or are they just there, you know? Does it depend on the weather? Does it need to be a nice day like this? If it's storming, raining, do you still feel as connected to your environment, or do you feel confined in the spaces that shelter you from the environment? You know. So yeah, I feel like it all comes back to. I feel like it all comes back to connection and disconnection and belonging as a function of connection or the lack thereof. So I'm curious if for you any of these things have been coming up. I kind of want to, in my mind, I've taken it upon myself to say that that is a theme for this month. I could be wrong. There very well could be other stuff going on. Um, but it's definitely a theme that like I'm tracking because I've just heard so much related to it again across the board in my work, in my personal life, just overhearing people's conversations, scrolling on social media, seeing the things that people are posting. So it's definitely a theme for me that I'm gonna keep track of. Um, and I would love for y'all to explore it with me. Let me know if it's something that's been coming up for you, or if it's something that you've ever put any thought into. Um, and yeah, we gonna check back in. We're gonna check back in.